Australian memes. Well, it's not really my thing, but...
Yeah, mate, buzzy yourself down, you bludgers, because I got a prezi for you. I'm fresh out of my swagman and I got that jug singing, so let's go rip it through some ripper Aussie memes and say other phrases of Aussie culture that no one really over the age of 40 even bothers to say themselves. To be honest, it's very, very rare we actually still say these things. But anyway, let's stop being a galah and give it a burl.
That means to have a go. I've just learnt that myself. You truly feel alienated from your culture when you have to Google Aussie slang for this intro. It's okay though, I'm verified. I got the birth certificate. I come from the land where Spider-Man walks downside up. Local police are now tasering 95-year-olds in walking frames. Man, how does this even happen? Yes, the grandma was holding a knife and had dementia. But this guy's quoted with saying, "God damn if it ain't Australian too. Bugger it," before tasing her. What a way to accentuate that you'd rather shoot someone than de-escalate. Australians resisting the urge to add mate in every comment on posts about Australia to let everyone know they're Australian. The fact my first reaction to this was going to say, mate. Don't call us out like that. Nor the fact that it can come across as endearing or threatening depending on the context. Just like the word Australian Town Starter Pack.
Oh yeah, take me down that memory lane of cross-country family trips.
Has a pub that looks exactly like this. Sometimes multiple of them. It's true, we have an alcohol problem. Most of us don't even have sunburns. We're just red because of blood alcohol levels. Always has one of these, just in case China sends a weather balloon. It does seem silly considering we're like furthest away from most of the major countries that ever went to war. But fun fact for the uneducated about our pristine culture. Also ignoring the fact we lost a war to emus. Shut up. When Japan was invading through Indonesia, making their way downtown to Australia, they were so close, so confident they were going to take over Australia, they had already started printing off their own Japanese converted Australian currency and giving it to the soldiers. It's just fun memories like that make you not surprised that Australia sniffs on the butthole of America so much.
Yeah. Oh, yuck. Oh, your trashy reality TV. Oh, it smells so good, America. Oh, please. Oh, give us more.
But when we don't have America, we have built-in Air Force. Technically only attacks the locals, though. Not a very effective Air Force. Very scary. Average guy in the pub.
Yeah, mate, I'm proud of the fact I'm a true blue Aussie man. Haven't showered in a few days and I got a beer belly that looks like I'm constantly pregnant.
Has at least one house, often more, that looks like this. And all the real estate agents will call it character. Oh, what's that next door? Property owned by a millionaire who built that place into a modern house? Well, guess this place is now worth an extra $300,000. Real estate logic. We'll see you next Tuesday. New Zealand.
Psst, hey, can I copy your homework?
Australia. Sure, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious.
I'll make my star red. After all the blood spilled by the British colonies.
The definitive list of Aussie heartbreak. From bad to very bad to the worst. Being dumped. Yes, despite how beautiful Australia is, this is considered one of the least terrible things to deal with in this world. Having to pay for sauce. Oh, this thought alone makes me age like 40 years into a boomer and complaining about the good old days where we didn't have to pay for sauce when I get a pie from a bakery. Anzac Day falling on a weekend and losing a public holiday off.
How dare you, calendar? How am I meant to honor the Anzac sacrifice if I don't spend a day being on my ass and playing video games instead of going to work?
Honestly, another staple of our culture. You're typically meant to turn up at the 6 a.m. dawn service of Anzac Day to kind of, pay your respects. So many of us don't bother to do that they have a 10 a.m. service now as well. Look, I'm sure there's more valid reasons, but I like to think that it's because we're just so lazy the government's like, all right, fine, we'll try and make this a thing as well. That's just the very bad though. That's the mild sauce. Let's get to the stuff that really makes you... hang on, let me go back to my phrase list. Whinge. Wait, whinge isn't Australian. This phrase list is a lie.
It's stained with colonist bile.
Anyway, finding out you've been using your 4G instead of Wi-Fi for hours. Now, you may think that's not big of a deal because we have great mobile data packs these days. But no, in Australia, that is a terrible thing to happen to you because the worst experience is voluntarily turning off your Wi-Fi at home because your 4G is actually faster. This needs to be emphasized. Australians invented Wi-Fi. Why is ours one of the worst in the world? We are literally the baby daddies of this thing, and yet the 6th smallest nation in the world has the best internet. What the hell, Liechtenstein? Get out of here with your almost 200 megabytes a second. Officeworks has 1 kilogram bags. Oh my god, get out of my way. Out of my way, no, I want them. Give me those bags. No, they're mine. Kill you.
I'll kill you for the bags.
Oh, I've never related so much to this review. 5-star, in mourning at their loss. This was just 2 hours ago. Did, everyone pre-order these or something? I have to admit to buying the last 1 kilogram bag. I will savor them. I do hope Alan's reviewed this decision for the sake of all the boomers that grew up with this tasty treat. I think the Australian film industry has benefited from this product, testing our knowledge for 93 years. Thank you to Officeworks for stocking the 1 kilogram bag for people to share generously. On every film set I've worked in, this has been like the staple treat for people to eat. The only reason I refuse to have these in my own house is because I know I will succumb myself to overeating and dying somehow, maybe. A current affair. Scaring old people since 1971. Teenagers doing a thing that your generation didn't do. These neighbors at some suburb you've never been to are having an argument over a tree.
Oh, not the trees!
And another news story where we hope by the sudden change in tonal shift you still don't notice it's an ad.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
Seeing all these updates about the missing submarine and still the important question hasn't been asked. Yeah, this one aged like milk. Yes, but what about Harold Holt? Harold Holt, ex-Prime Minister of Australia. Back in sometime before 1990, I don't know. Old chap went for a swim one day and he just didn't turn back up. Literally disappeared. The ocean ate him. But don't worry, Australians honoured him in their own way. They named a pool after him. God, it's like naming a stingray conservation after Steve Irwin. There's always one. Go potato scallop.
Go potato cake.
Go potato fritter.
Who the hell calls it a potato fritter in Australia these days?
What is wrong with you?
I'd tolerate you calling it a potato cake as if there's any sort of dairy, egg, or flour in that thing. But a fritter? Go isolate yourself in Perth, you freak of Australian nature. The game we got.
Hogwarts Legacy.
The game we wanted.
Hogs.
Breath Cafe, the only place in Australia to get yourself some curly fries. For some reason, really, you can buy them at the grocery store. Why do not more places sell curly fries? It doesn't make any sense.
We're not even actually a cafe. We're a restaurant. Why do they call themselves cafe still at this point? But hey, if you're coming from Texas and you really want to feel at home, go to this place. That's literally what they try to be. Americans. We need guns to defend ourselves. Australia. Melbourne man fights off carjacker with Nescafe Blend 43 jar. Yeah, Australian advertising goes hard. This is a creature. In America, it is known as a fly. In France, it is a unmouche. In German, it is eine Fliege. In South Korea, it is a pali. In Australia, it is a frick off, you stupid fricking. How many of you bastard? It's in my mouth. Oh god. A new and improved Australia map. Here we have Australia separated in 5 major states. Now, I grew up just above hell there, just underneath drown in sweat. Now, though, I live between ew and gross. Of course, Tasmania being changed to Isle of Cousins, because, hey, they got no one else to pick from. Going inland, we see Schmidt, more burn, more alcohol, die, and drugs. Then making our way to the barren land of Western Australia known as cyclones, Frickle, Pain, Regret, Perth, I think, and Sharks. Fun fact, in the areas between alcohol, pain, and burn, there's multiple roads that have signs saying this is the last place of human civilization. If you break down here or run out of fuel, unless you are prepared, you will die. It's always interesting when you come across those signs and later on down the road you see a car that's been parked to the side and set ablaze as if the fire from the heat caught it ablaze, and yeah, it's kind of dark. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, some fun memories of cross-country camping with my family. How Australians actually are. I don't even know what's going on here. Did someone throw Australians into Mid-Journey? My school. Please bring a gold coin donation. My parents.
Gold coin.
Nah, they don't deserve any of that.
Let's give them 2 of the largest freaking cent coins in human history. Seriously, if you can't beat someone to death with a Nescafe 43 blend jar, you can beat them to death with a 50-cent coin. Queensland seems to have suddenly developed a growth.
The secret the government doesn't want you to know. Australia is actually a sleeping brachiosaurus.
Chad.
What do you mean your grandpa's also named Joe? I thought we were in the clear.
Sydney, Melbourne,
at war with each other ever since trying to decide who should be the major city of Australia before eventually just deciding, you know what, we'll have something in the middle. Australian Capital Territory. There we go, now we'll never fight again. Famous people don't go to your city.
I'll kill you.
Meanwhile, Brisbane, Darwin, Adelaide, and Perth. Yeah, we're fine, just chilling. Brisbane, what are you doing?
I want to be a big city too.
Brisbane, stop it. You don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, but
You have one major roadway through the city.
I'll put a casino next to it.
Why?
Because they have one.
Your traffic sucks as it is. Peter? Oh, God. You want an honor from Peter? Anyway, Peter has honored an Australian woman with the Hero to Animals Award after she rescued and rehabilitated a huntsman spider that was severely injured and had lost 6 legs. She nursed it and fed it water and small cockroaches. After a month of care, the spider regrew all 6 legs and is getting stronger every day. It can currently bench a 1-rep max of 100 kilograms. Peter Dutton reassuring the people of Tasmania they will one day take back the mainland. Look, I don't think I need to explain Peter Dutton. I think we just need to show an image of him. There we go. I trust the editors have found a sufficient picture. That's nice of KFC to name this meal after Scott Morrison. Boneless party pleaser. That's brilliant. Scott Morrison, backstabber of his political party to gain power, consistent failure both socially and professionally in his tourism ad career. Remember the Australian ad, Where the Bloody Hell Are You? He wrote that one. You know, the one that offended everyone outside of Australia. Fun fact about ScoMo. Yes, we called him ScoMo for short. We're Australian. What do you expect of us? Record cold June. I hear it was so cold today that even the politicians had their hands in their own pockets. This is fine. No. Don't bring to light we're just as corrupt as American government officials. No, stop. We're just laid back. Yeah. If you don't encourage the fellow Australians to be lazy, they'll actually do something about it. Australia, how would you like to join Europe? Improved festivals. As far as I'm aware, this is pretty much the map for Eurovision, isn't it? Seriously, fellow Eurovision enjoyers, I too am very confused why the hell Australia gets to compete. Don't get me wrong, humbled to feel included. But why? What you see?
Ram, I got a big ute and I'm a big boy. Look at me with my big brum.
What everyone else sees. An advertisement for seeing you in the Northern Territory. In an attempt to keep viewers for one of the longest running soap operas in Australian history, Neighbours has taken drastic measures to invite newer audiences, changing the classic street name from Ramsay Street to Gordon Ramsay.
What are you?
A tied-fish sandwich. Made this from a random epiphany in 2020. Hope you appreciate it. My God. It's everyone's dad. This is what real blokes have for breakfast on Easter holes, mate.
I was your Uber driver like 3 months ago. Please leave me alone.
I'm so glad I was taught to play the recorder at school. It has really come in handy during my adult life. I've lost count of the times I've resolved a difficult situation with a quick blast of 3 blind mice. Binfluencer. Pronounce that. The person on your street who always puts their wheelie bins out first on bin day, and the rest of the neighbors follow. Classic power move.
Frick, it's cold.
Australians right now. And will be like this until the end of September, I feel. The cost of living rises, the value of our time does not. But remember, it's the dull bludgers on Centrelink who are stagnating wages, and not at all the people who own the businesses. Please take your items. Please take your items.
I made a robot that verbally abuses customers.
Unexpected item in bagging area. Please don't make a scene. I'm just trying to buy some condoms. Get the smaller size, mate. Please wait for assistance.
No.
I am the generic 15-year-old dead inside teenager who mans these things. Can I look at your bag, please? Joins 4x4 Club. That's 4-wheel drivers club, people who go out camping or go off-road driving a lot. Buys a Jackaroo.
Jackaroos are beautiful pieces of Australian history in the car manufacturer business, even though Holden kind of crashed and burned. And that's probably why, because they actually weren't that great quality. But shut your mouth. It's got Jack in the name. It's great.
Why were we all educated in temporary buildings? Australian schools. Transportables.
Is this a classroom? It is!
No, but this is actually brilliant because it makes school renovation so much more flexible and easier. And now for a historical educational post by a man named Shane, because of course their name would be Shane. There is a major fact that people seem to be forgetting, the furore over Australia Day being on January 26th. The 26th of January is also the anniversary of the Rum Rebellion in 1808, the only military coup in Australian history. It's simple. Declare January the 26th to be Rum Rebellion Day. Everyone gets peed on rum, marches on Parliament and deposes the government for the vicious, lying fascist pricks they are. This will be done as an annual event. Beats the frick out of elections. Hey everyone, are you okay?
I told you last year. No.
I always did love this Are You Okay Day Australia does. Because people might be inclined to ask it, yeah, but no one's prepared to actually deal with it.
Hey, are you okay?
No, actually, I'm
Whoa,
not.
wait, mate, what are you doing? That's weird.
Oh. Victoria in the south and New South Wales, a bit more north. Always poop posting about each other. They're the states who have Melbourne and Sydney, for those not aware. Meanwhile, South Australia, which is technically more to the west, you share a border with me too.
I don't even know who you are.
Let me show you. Oh, well, my electricity's gone out again. Elon, give me a battery. Watch Married at First Sight or Wipe My Butt with Sandpaper. Oh, definitely the latter. Seasons in Victoria, the southernmost state.
Actually, I'm the southernmost.
Shut up, Tasmania. The only great thing about you is your tiger, and that's extinct. Summer. Fall. Winter. Spring. Seasons in Queensland, the one closest to the equator, so understandably.
Summer.
Summer.
And summer again.
Seriously, I grew up in far north Queensland. We don't get a winter. We get a windy summer. You do not wear jeans unless you want sweating to be a part of your fashion statement.
Hi, I'm Starbucks. I'll sell coffee in Australia.
Australians.
You're spewing.
Australia's established cafe culture.
Come on back. Oh, straight.
Yeah, we'll gorge out on your reality TV and ridiculous politics, but oh, don't you dare bring that coffee over. Apparently, that's where we collectively draw the line. Australia preparing to send surveillance balloon over China. If they ask, just say a local university is just trying to research how far a floating goon bag can go. For the uneducated plebs, a goon bag is basically a bag of this shape and size in a cardboard box full of cheap wine.
And now for famous quotes that make no sense to people outside of Australia.
Not happy, Jan.
Ooh, lock it in, Eddie.
I said pet.
You're terrible, Muriel. Hold up, though. If you ever get the chance to see Muriel's Wedding, the musical, watch it. It's a banger! For my fellow musical theater lovers out there, Can't Hang in this musical, I believe is on par with Oh My God in Legally Blonde. Kimmy, look at mine, please. Look at mine. Look at mine. To keep the rabbits out. There's too many rabbits. China. She guys. Not gonna lie, I had to research what the hell that one was. That's like from the 1980s. You look so hot today, like a sunrise.
Yes, Katoot.
I am so glad my man has made it in this Hall of Fame. The exotic Prince Charming of all Australians. Kiss me, Katoot. And of course, the ad of a man going slightly insane because some kids are eating corn on his rooftop when he thinks it's rain. Ah, McCain, you've triggered psychosis again. And here we have the map of all countries where the Prime Minister shat himself in a McDonald's. One extra legacy for Scott Morrison. Is it factual? I'm going to say yes because enough people have said it that I think it deserves to be truth. 10 minutes of tone. Best/worst of Tony Abbott. Ah yes, the Prime Minister before he was backstabbed by Malcolm Turnbull, before he was backstabbed by Scott Morrison. That's right, in one single term of presidency and comparison, we had 3 different leaders of our country. I believe this is him referring to a soldier's death or something like that. Australians in Japanese cartoons. Ai, konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Sheila desu. Genki desu ka? Australians in American cartoons.
Dollary dues.
Australians in Australian cartoons.
That's right, you Yanks. We're all furries down here, and your kids love us.
Which side are you on? Andy Griffiths or Paul Jennings? Vote for your favorite kids' books down below. Pro tip, if you pick Paul Jennings, you're wrong. Upon reflection, looking at the book covers of Andy Griffiths, I'm kind of not surprised I've turned out how I have.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's disrespectful to the Aboriginal people, so change the date.
Mate, it's an excuse to get pissed and skip work. You do what you want.
Yes, the endless debate on January 26th being more of an invasion day than Australia Day. But the annoying thing about people saying, don't change the date, it's always been this day. No, it hasn't. It's been 5 different days among the 7 different states until the last 100 years. Also, this fear about preserving our history. Hang on, let me just put a little rant sign up. We are the youngest modern society in the world right now. Our current history is as valuable as a baby's first diaper poop. Our country had a history, but most of our colonialism wiped that out. Thank God they've been able to preserve some of the 250 languages, the fact that they had effective and already established farming practices, and I learned this recently, the fact Aboriginals had already established trade routes as early as 13th century with Europe, half a millennia before England even found the country. If you're curious, look up Cockatoo 13th century Sicily. It's really fascinating how much the world was connected despite the lack of internet and stuff. Sky News Australia.
If you can find a less credible news source, you're in the USA.
What a coincidence, it happens to be the boomers' favorite news network. Autumn. Australians.
Let's see what's under this mask. Ah, nice try, Summer.
I just don't want to leave you guys. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, well, literally 1 in 3 of us keep getting cancer, so go away. Australia declares war on China in 2045.
As soon as we have our submarines, you're fricked.
Classic Australia, being that little kid at the park who has a high ego about himself until he's punched in the face. Then he runs crying to his older brother. USA. Australia enters the space race.
Yeah, it's a strange shape, but I guarantee it'll come back.
You can't just have a cigarette and an energy drink for breakfast. Construction workers.
Let me at him. Bro, chill. Let me at him.
Relax, bro. Have a coffee. Just because we're one of the handful of high OECD nations doesn't mean we can't improve as a society. Australia shouldn't rest on its laurels, and we should all strive for a better, more equitable nation. Nobody is saying we shouldn't try to improve society. People are asking whingers to be quiet. Young Australians facing a major cost of living crisis. r/AusFinance. I got you. Stop your freaking whining. Yeah. How AI imagines stereotypical Australians. Damn, why do we look so epic? Though that top left one's an absolute lie. There is no way we'd have that many British-like flags and not be like taking the piss out of them. That's the one thing ironic about a lot of Australians. We hate on England a lot, yet we are very adamant about not changing things that the English imposed upon us. I do love the bottom left too, just casually dealing with the fact they've got cuts all over their bodies, but nah, yeah, it's just a casual day out in the outback. Strange, horrific flying beasts on the top right? Yeah, it's just a normal day in Australia. Can't have Schmidt in the western suburbs. Oh yeah, pro tip, if anything is referencing the western suburbs in this subreddit, it's most likely 99% of the time Sydney. Because that's where all the affordable living is, and apparently if you can afford something, that means you're poor? That's how it works here, apparently. Of course, you also deal with this. That's a bit worse than your bike seat being stolen. My vacuum cleaner broke, so I put a New South Wales sticker on it. And now it sucks again. So Australia has their own Super Bowl. It's called the
State of Origin.
where all the states in Australia compete to be the best state at rugby, which is like American football, but not for pussy. But now just tweak what I said about all the states competing and just restrict it to 2 states. That's right, the entire East Coast was like, hey, let's do a tournament together. And the rest of Australia is like, oh, ha, cool, can we join? And the East Coast is like, nah, piss off. This is our thing, boys only. And so every year, Queensland's sweaty, muscular men in short shorts and New South Wales' sweaty, muscular men in short shorts run after each other's bodies in an open field while millions watch. And historically, like what is the tally today? Let's find this. Recently, New South Wales done better because Queensland's star athlete retired. But oh man, in the 2010s, it was so safe to bet against New South Wales, you could have made an investment of it. Summer in Australia. Queensland drowned in your own sweat. Other various areas of the country. No one cares about John's offspring. For a satirical site, The Shovel reports a hell of a lot of truth. Cardinal Pell's ashes swept under carpet in traditional Catholic ceremony. A fitting tribute. Oh, God. Yes, this is the man our ex-prime minister said that we should have pity on, and shame on us for, laughing and shaming this man for diddling children. People from Melbourne when they go 5 minutes without mentioning how much they hate Sydney.
They don't even have trams.
Who am I?
Fantastic.
No, Jack, hang on. Born in 1930, a solid morsel of chocolate and caramel, I was popular with kids, nanas, and cinephiles alike.
Fantastic.
Stop spurring minds with trivia and a pleasure to suck on.
Oh, Uncle.
I am the chocolate companion to Minties for filling pulling power. A low-key favorite. I will be missed by a selected few, but not by dentists. Hazy in the memory like celluloid. Now you may guess.
I forgot.
Civilian efforts to maintain democracy. ICAC. They're a government body that keeps politicians in check. Pulling against resistance against corruption exposure. I've never seen you all work so well together. Yeah, shout out to Friendly Geordies for exposing all this stuff. If you want entertaining, genuine journalism, you go check out that man. His best friend got arrested by our Australian anti-terrorism squad because one politician didn't like all the information being exposed about him. Why can't we be more original? Northern Territory's flag is great. Northern Territory famous for being more west than north.
Our flags are great.
No. My queen-hating colleagues. Monarchy.
Get that thing out of my face. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh, an extra public holiday. Ooh. Australians watching the Senator of Texas go on a vacation while the state falls apart. Hey there, guys. First time during the country's most historical fire experience, our owl guy was over in Hawaii. Yeah. He proceeded to have about, I think it was 3 more vacations during the time of COVID as well. Yeah, good man. Love you, ScoMo. Australians after losing a tiny radioactive capsule somewhere in the outback.
Oh, mate.
Meanwhile, Americans pretty much chemically nuking an entire town. This is fine. Let apps make tipping culture normal or draw 25. Aussies! I always truly laugh when an app suggests I leave a tip for me doing all the work. Oh wow, the only thing the server did with me was bring my food? Man, wow, what exemplary service doing the bare minimum. Australians, 2023 won't be that crazy. Jim.
Why not hire Jim's totalitarian government?
I swear to God, this guy has like 50 different branches of business. He's got mowing, he's got plumbing, he's got everything. Favorite artist announces world tour.
Oh, yeah.
Not coming to Australia. Well, that's not the world then, is it? When you woke up too early for Cheese TV. Oh, this is taking me back. Our weekly morning cartoon segment was called Cheese TV. Basically, some people in like their early 20s talking about kids' shows that were coming up next in their little program of sorts. But if you got up earlier than 6:30, oh no, you had to wait for the aerobics to finish, something every boy under the age of about 11 hated. And everyone over, well, they probably were getting very curious. Oh God, no. Don't do that to Jacinda Ardern, no. I'm sure ScoMo did feel a bit like that.